All right, good evening, afternoon, wherever you're joining us from all across the globe. My name is Priya Frederick, and today we are celebrating Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. Nigeria is 64 years today. On the 1st of October 1960, the Union Jack was lowered and Nigeria became an independent country. And ever since, the country has gone through a lot of challenges, but like many will say, we are still standing tall. And I have a lot of gentlemen joining me on set today to look at this all-important epoch-making event as we mark 64 years independence. Right here in the studio with me, I have Mr. Benjamin Nat Nazi. Inti, sorry. I keep having issue, but the shortest name after Solomon La. That's your name is the shortest surname. So Mr. Benjamin is a social commentator and highly schooled. I don't know if I should reveal your portfolio.
It's okay, we are fine.
But he's going to be doing justice with me and he's looking Nigeria. Then online we have Mr. Joseph Ladat joining us all the way from Plateau State. As time goes on, I will put him on set so he will be making his inputs. But Mr. Joseph Ladat, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Frederick, for having me.
Yeah, Mr. Joseph Ladat is into so many things. He's into politics, he's into agriculture, he's into climate change, as in environmental issues. So as when you'll be speaking, I'll be doing more of those introduction. I also have Mr. Prince Godfrey Obua. Mr. Prince Godfrey Obua is the media essay to the governor of Bayelsa State, but is standing in for himself today as a social commentator. Mr. Prince Godfrey, thank you for joining us all the way from Bayelsa State.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us here.
Okay, I have Mr. Tefa Naswen, a very good friend of mine, joining us all the way from Benue State. And Tefa is into politics and is also the spokesperson for former honorable member of Vandakia constituency, federal constituency. Mr. Tefa, thank you for joining us all the way from Benue.
All right, thank you for having me.
Okay. So, Mr. Elisha Bingel.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us. Mr. Elisha is a social activist. He was part of the protests when we talk about end bad governance in Nigeria. And today is on set to give his view, his perspective too on the issue we're going to be looking at today. So, Mr. Elisha, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, we still have someone online, but I don't really have your name, but you're joining us participating with your phone. But as time goes on, you have the floor too to contribute. So wherever you're watching us around the world, we are beginning this way. But let me begin with Mr. Is Mr. Tefa still online?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm not seeing you. So, Mr. Tefa, you can introduce your... Okay, I can see you. You can introduce your opening remarks. So you actually called me even this morning, just immediately after the presidential broadcast. So what's your take on the president's speech?
Thank you very much, Mr. Frederick. When I watched the speech of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I took time to ponder over a lot of things because the Nigerian system is extremely complex. So the president was speaking from a lot of angles, outlining the things he has done and, proposing the things that he would do in future. So looking at the whole presentation, the whole speech, there are some aspect of the speech that required commendation, and some aspect of the speech that has actually called for many questions to be asked. You see, the issue that Nigeria is facing today, part of the effect can be said to be the residue of previous administration, and some being as a result of some of the policies initiated and implemented by the president. So it goes to that level of understanding the impact these policies have on Nigerians. So he made mention of uh, 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 putting things in place about foreign reserve increase, about bringing student loan, talking about mechanized agriculture, appreciating states like Kefi, Nasrawa, and others for embracing that and encouraging other states to actually embrace. There are a lot of things he has done that are commendable, like the local government autonomy and other things that he has done in terms of human capital development. But the issue that he failed to address in his presentation was the fuel, the issue of fuel. That is the basic thing that has caused a lot of problems today. He didn't speak on that in a way Nigerians want to hear. After the speech, I was able to have some conversation with a couple of people, and they frowned at the speech that the whole problem, in fact, much of the problems Nigerians are facing is as a result of the subsidy removal. And I fought the president for the speech he made, telling Nigerians that subsidy has been removed without putting the necessary things in place. If subsidy were to be removed, I think the refineries and other modalities would have been put in place before the removal of subsidy. You don't remove subsidy before thinking of how to put things in place. When someone wants to get into a house, into a building, you don't get into the building unkept. You try to clean the place, sweep the place, do some interior decoration before you move into. So the president, the speech presentation, to me, I appreciate some of the achievements made, but the issue of fuel subsidy, the increment in price, is something that the president really needs to do the needful. And that is the basic problem that has led to a lot of issues today, that Nigerians are crying, that we are crying and calling for review of some of the policies or doing what has to be done promptly to cushion the effect. So I think the issue of fuel subsidy and other things related to fuel supposed to be well addressed. Nigerians were supposed to be given a direction or focus where they have to actually know the things that they should expect, what has been done. But Nigerians have been left in the dark concerning the issue of fuel, which is what everybody benefits directly or indirectly. There's no Nigerian that is not a beneficiary of energy, of fuel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tefa. We are going to come back to you on fuel subsidy. It's obvious you picked on fuel subsidy, but I just keep that in mind. So I hope I remember to come back to that. So let's go to Mr. Joseph Ladat. You tell us, what did you pick from the president's speech? By the time we pick from whatever we pick from the president's speech, then we'll now come back to talk about our growing up days. I'm sure none of us here is up to 60. So that network issue. So we were supposed to talk to Mr. Joseph, right? So Mr. Joseph, you can continue from where you were. Hello, Mr. Joseph. Can you hear
Yeah, Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, go on. Tell us what you picked from the presidential speech.
Okay. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, viewers, and thank you for having me, Mr. Frederick. For me, the president's speech actually came with a little hope, reassuring Nigerians of his commitment or dedication towards serving Nigeria very, very, or more than he has already did. However, for me, I think the little I can say about his achievement, or what I notice about his achievement so far, is on the issue of security. Personally, there are places within or on the plateau that were inhabitable because of the issue of banditry and kidnapping. My local government, to be precise, but God's willing, the coming of this very president, not even or not only peculiar to Kwanpan as a whole, but feasibly around the whole country, I can attest to the fact that there is this tentative resurgence of peace being experienced or being witnessed by Nigerians all across the country. However, we are not where we want to be, but we're not where we were before. So I would commend the president for there is a little bit of stability when it comes to the issue of insecurity. And we are looking forward to having more of the commitments of the civil, or better still, the armed forces in stemming the scourge of banditry, kidnapping, and other vices bedeviling Nigeria as a country. More to it is for me, one thing that also captured my mind is, as a youth, is the fact that he made mention of a 30-day youth conference. However, it is for me, it is laughable at some point in time, because for any well-meaning Nigerian to leave whatever venture he or she is actually going into, to say he or she is going to stay in Abuja for 30 good days. I'm actually an entrepreneur, and I don't think it's feasible for me to leave the business I'm doing for 30 days. So probably, maybe after the presidential speech, the cabinet will still sit down to look at that very aspect. But it's actually a very good one. The NSAS protest and then the End Bad Governance protest has shown the government that more needs to be done. The youths are not happy with the realities on ground. However, the conference will give the youths more opportunity to interact or interface with government in bringing innovative solutions to issues that they feel is not only to the best interest of the youths, but in the best interest of this very country. And he also talked of some other things. I'm actually an entrepreneur, just as I've said. There's this thing that also captured my mind in the course of his conversation, a bill that he sees is going to present to the floor of the House, a transformative bill in particular. You know, that bill is very, very critical as far as long as the economy of this country is concerned. Because whether you like it or not, the youths are the drivers of virtually every economy. And when the youths are self-sustainable, or better still, they are sustainably employed, gainfully employed within the not particular to employed by maybe organizations, but self-employed, doing one or two ventures. I mean, it tends to give more opportunities to other persons, you know, stimulating growth and productivity within the economy. And that is what I am advocating that government should actually center its own attention on, you know, ensuring that micro, small, and medium enterprises are doing very well, and then helping them with startup parks to ensure that the youthful population are not only gainfully employed, but sustainably employed. More to it, the introduction of CNG buses that were done, I think, just a few days ago. There was distribution of CNG buses to the Nigeria Union of, I think, the Union Congress, and then, yes, the Nigerian Union Congress and some other NANs to be particular too. So Nigerians are actually, just as the other guests have said, the chunk of the hardship is cost based on the policy implementation of the president, that very pronouncement on his inauguration that came impromptu. And then, of course, the marketers took advantage of it, bringing on two hardship to Nigerians. So if I were the president, even before that very pronouncement, however, since that pronouncement has been made and then the hardship is here, we need more palliative in terms of transportation, because you don't expect a businessman to take his products from Jos to, let's say, to Kano, and then initially the cost of transport is, let's say, 1,000 naira. Now the cost of transport is 3,000 naira. You don't expect that same commodity to be sold at that very same price. The cost of transport already has inflated the price of that very commodity, and then you don't also expect a common man within that very place to have the purchasing power to buy that same commodity. So majorly, the cost of hardship in this country is inflated because of the high cost of petrol. And then if the president will look into that, I think it will go a long way. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. We'll stop you there. It seems we are all navigating back to the subsidy. So, but let me have your thoughts here, Mr. Benjamin. Mr. Joseph, thank you very much for your inputs there. So let me ask Mr. Benjamin here. So Mr. Benjamin, you've heard Mr. Sefa, Nasser from Benue. He talked about the subsidy removal being the cause of the problem from the president's speech. He said the president did not even say much on it. Then you had Mr. Joseph now talk about everything he has said, and he still went back to subsidy. What's your take on that?
Well, Mr. Joseph started by talking about the youths, the confirmed, which the president planned to have. For me, 30 days is quite much, just like what he said. And then from what Mr. Pepper said about the subsidy, I expected that by now, the refineries must have been working. I heard the Port Harcourt refinery since July. They've been announcing that the next month, Port Harcourt refinery will start working. July, we didn't see anything. August, we didn't see anything. September ended yesterday, and we didn't see anything. If these refineries are working, I mean, this punishment the citizens are passing, this punishment, this suffering we are passing through, we wouldn't be seeing them, because petrol is the major factor in this economy. Petrol is the major factor here. So if the petrol is cheaper, if the common man can afford it, the food will be available for us.
Yeah.
Life will be easier. Okay, if they cannot subsidize, well, if they have removed subsidy in fuel, if there is a way they can subsidize food as well for us, good. It will help the common man to, if you don't have money to afford some certain things, at least have food to eat. Reduce hunger in the land.
Okay, I think, do we still have Mr. Praise God Ogoa on? Oh, he has gone off. Maybe he has been locked out. Okay, Mr. said if they can't subsidize petrol, they should subsidize, but they've been giving us rice for everything.
Rice is not the problem. The only problem, there is flood. It's give us rice. There is protest. Give us rice. There is this one. It's rice the only problem we have with this country.
So, Mr. Elisha, let's have your take on this. What do you have to say about the president's speech?
Actually, I'll capture his speech in basically 3 things. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll capture his speech basically on 3 things. He spoke on the he's aware of the sufferings Nigerians are suffering. And then he talks on also them also making tremendous improvement in terms of security and giving us a number of almost 300 Boko Harams and bandits have been eliminated. And I actually, in terms of security, they have actually done, for me, they have done nothing. Then one of the major things, as every other person has been speaking, one of the major things that led Nigeria to this hardship we are facing currently is the removal of subsidy. And actually, it's one of the first things the president did which was one of the wrong thing to do, which is right to some extent, because many other things would have been put on ground before declaring the subsidy removal. You understand? So that led Nigerians into this hardship we are talking about. And then the other thing that he talks as in the speech, I see it as irrelevant, is the giving conferment of national honors to individuals which I've seen they have not really done anything to deserve those awards. Imagine just installing somebody to be chief judge, this woman, this chief judge of the federation, so giving her confirmation of without any seeing any improvement in judicial system and every other thing. You understand? And so we saw during Lawal was then Senate president. But look at what Lawal did and see what Akpabio is doing as Senate president, and you are confirming such honors to them. So it is making the honor as if is not, it doesn't have the value that it has before.
Okay,
you understand?
If you talk about Lawal having done something and Akpabio is not doing
I'm comparing
anything.
Akpabio and Lawal. We Nigerians have seen Lawal as a failure. You understand? Okay. But I'm seeing Akpabio doing worse than Lawal.
Oh, okay. Because I was almost telling you that Lawal was referred to rubber stamp Senate.
Yes,
so
yes. Everything they bring he signs. You understand?
Like
Akpabio is doing worse.
A photocopy of the executive.
Yes, because you have seen a lot of issues that are transpired in the House, whereby a Senate president talks to his fellow colleague like he's talking to even his son, biological son. You can't talk to him like this. He'll tell you, shut up. You did not, you did this, you did this. You understand that kind of thing? So there are a lot of issues that actually are, yes, understand. So, but in terms of security, I've had relations that are into military. And I have a very close family friend that was just killed in Niger State. And it was if you hear about the death, it's just something else. This guy was calling for reinforcements, and reinforcements were not coming, but immediately this guy went down with the troop. Instantly, a reinforcement came and picked up the dead body of that officer. He's a senior officer.
That's so sad.
So we can just imagine how the issues. Yesterday, I saw Indume talking about the issue of insecurity. You understand? If it is, how can these people don't have phone numbers? Can they be traced? You understand? So one of the major things beyond the economic hardship in the country, most people cannot effectively go down to their farms and farm because of insecurity. In Benue, in Taraba, kidnapping.
Insecurity, we know it did not start with this present administration, but is there improvements?
For me, there's no improvement.
There's no improvement.
For me, there's no improvement.
Okay, we'll leave you at that. Let's go to Mr. President Frederick Oboa, all the way from Bayelsa State. Mr. President, you were locked out and you just came back. So, what's your take on the president's speech from your end?
Good afternoon, everyone. I will not spend much time talking about the presidential speech because of my network. I've been logging out and coming in, so I will be very brief. The truth is, I was expecting much more from the presidential speech, but I noticed not just me, a lot of Nigerian youth were not bothered to listen to the president because, as usual, he will dodge from addressing the key issue that the people are facing. If you take very note of what happens today, you will observe that while the president was giving his speech, people were already on the road, were already on the street protesting without minding. I was thinking maybe people will listen to the presidential speech.
We live in a mobile world. Maybe they watched from their phones.
No, they are not watching. I was following up the protests on social media. People were already on the road protesting, abusing the president, especially from his own state. You understand? So it shows that the people were not bothered about what he was going to say. They were tired of all these plenty talks of the governors, the president, the senators, and all that. People are waiting for practical reality. People want to see these things, not telling us we will do, we have done, we are People want to see these things and feel it. You understand? So I saw a situation where people were just not bothered about what the president want to say. And as usual, he was not even addressing the key issues like the first subsidy and all the things that are bringing suffering to the people. He was shying away from all those things. And this was exactly what he did during the End Bad Governance protests, where people have been shot and a lot of attack from police and all the rest. And you are out to address the people and you refuse to address the thing that brought them to the streets. Same thing he was doing today. People were expecting him to say a lot of things, but as usual, he left the key things that the people were facing and was addressing other things. All these things that they are saying, we have been hearing them for we are not born as early as 1960, but for the few times we have been in this country, all these things are normal things that they say every time. So we are not bothered about this. If we want to see reality, we want to see practical, we want to see these things, people should feel it. You cannot be telling us we have done this, and
The days when we were growing up, our parents used to look forward to the president's speech, whether on President's Day or Democracy Day or New Year, any of all those occasions. Anytime it is,
they look forward to the presidential
they look forward
broadcast.
to. They said, turn on the radio, or TV or something.
You hear everywhere, and all the rest of them.
But now, it has reduced drastically because nobody wants to hear. What do they want to tell us? Nothing new. It's still the same thing they have been saying all this. I just look for a way to.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Praise God. And after Praise God, I'll go to Mr. Tefa. Mr. Praise God, the president talked about a confab for young people, and it's going to be for 30 days. And these people are going to actually emerge from their constituencies, and the politicians are the ones to recommend these people. You are a politician, or you are into politics. How does this play? Can this work? He said he has heard the cry of the youth and he wants to hear their voice. And these people are going to be selected by the same politicians who the youth are feel disconnected from. So what's your take?
This question, I think the guy from Plateau State has already addressed the issue ahead.
Okay.
Leaving your family, because some of these youths are married. Like me, I'm a married man. I'm going for 3 years, even if I'm a youth. You know, so a lot of them are married. They have families. So leaving your family for a program for 30 days, 30 good days, a strange environment.
Don't forget they have allocations and it's going to run into billions.
No, I'm coming to that. So you go and all the rest. At the end of the day, let's be sincere. Whoever is going for the program, one is just going, I'm going for a program with the president to boast on social media. Secondly, just to get the money that they want to share to us. And I bet you, at the end of the program, if they don't give them reasonable money, those people will come on social media and begin to abuse them. They just wasted our time. They went there, they did not give us good money. They did not give us good. So you just find a situation where those are not the issues we have. Because first, who are the people that will go there? You said, the president already said, the politicians here will nominate. Meaning, it's not about the people that really need this thing, but who they want to send to their place. So it's a failed project already. There's no two ways about it. It's a failed project because it's not, it would have been better they just do interstate and do a town hall meeting for youth and the youth to express their problems than carrying few persons to enjoy life. Now what they are going there is just to go and give few persons good life.
I think we'll have your point. Thank you very much. Mr. Tefa, do you agree with Mr. Praise God, Frederick Oboa? He said it's already a failed project. These are people that are married or have families and you want them to spend 30 days sitting down talking in Abuja.
Actually, I agree with Praise God because when I heard Mr. President said that, I was wondering how will the process be transparent? Even the process of selection too. I asked someone after the speech that what will be the process of selection, that this representative, what process would they use? What indices? How will they select these people? Will they be balanced in their selection? Because that is where bias will also come in. a representative may decide to select members of his family and party alone. So it won't be an all-inclusive selection anymore. Those who are from PDP want their PDP members only. Those who are APC want only APC. And then some persons will narrow down to their kindred, ward, or clan. And then why sidelining others? So
and the idea is to talk about Nigeria.
Yes, honestly. So what will be put in place to check any injustice or unfairness? And then the issue of stretching it for many days is not okay. Just like he said, they would have decentralized that and maybe done in each state, and then have resource presence, and then whatever can be done, like a town hall meeting that everybody can participate free. People can have access to participation. But this one, those selected will not want to say certain things, not to provoke or offend their representative that nominated them to go there. So there will be a lot of misrepresentation. The youth that we go there may not be able to even express themselves the way they would have expressed, because the selection was not even properly done. So to me, I don't even know what this thing will actually lead to in the end. Although it's a good initiative, but the plan and the modalities are not okay by me.
What a good point to hold it there. When you said these people will be limited to their kindreds, their political party, and the rest of them, and that reminds me of the 2014 confab. So, Mr. Joseph, tell us, would this be another confab, unimplemented reports, at the end of the day, lying somewhere?
My brother, it is quite very unfortunate that it is only in this part of the world that programs are just done to fulfill righteousness, rather than bringing up policies and programs that are having direct bearing on the people. Now, imagine that Nigerians are going, with the current hardship that Nigerians are going through, all that matters for the House of Assembly or our legislatures is for them to go and be investigating the issue of very black man and Bobrisky. Now, just imagine the type of representatives we are having. With the current realities on ground, Nigerians are suffering in the mercy of these current hard realities. And that is exactly what matters. You talked about another national confab. Of course, the document is still there without the implementation. So, just as I said, I just believe that it will just be a gathering of like minds. And though I tend to disbelieve the fact that it may just be the norm, on the basis that we are actually having some group of youths that are willing to, or they are ready to have platforms like that to bring up policies or programs that will be of the benefits of all, in as much as the norms will still be there. Just as my other brother said, is it tougher that
Yes.
you expect to see politicians hijacking the whole selection process, bringing in their clans, people from their relatives, and it will not end up having the best results. However, I still believe that even with the little that we are going to be having there, it is very much feasible for us to have that very confab in Abuja. Let's say a week confab that will just bring selected youth. We have Nigerian Youth Parliament is already a youth this thing. We have and then even the like for Plateau State Youth Council, drawn from at the state level to go
Seem to be having network
or to the FCT for this.
Is it from
Can you hear me, please?
or our end? So you seem to be having network challenge.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, you can hear me. So I was talking about for us, let's say an example. We have
Is it from us?
from
Can you
district.
hear him? It's cracking on our own end. Is it cracking?
Yeah, it's cracking, but it's a bit okay. It's
Okay.
cracking, but
Okay,
I think it's
let me see.
It's also cracking here.
Are you with me, please?
Okay.
Yes, we are with you now, clearly. It's better.
Okay, sorry for the network glitch. So just as I was saying, for us, like the Plateau State Youth Council, we have representative even at the
Okay,
chairman at
I think
district
that's the
level
much you can take from you. Sorry, the network is
level,
cracking on your
and
end.
then this representative they picked at that very
It's cracking from your
of
end. So,
interest to represent this.
Joseph, sorry for that. Your end is
Okay,
cracking.
so let
Let's
me
go to Mr. Elijah. Mr. Elijah. So
Huh?
we talk about youths. Right now, as we speak, they're out there protesting. Will this protest solve anything? Now the president is calling for a confab. Should they pause the protest
One,
and wait for the
the
confab?
the protest will not solve anything. One, the confab is calling for will not solve anything because he's not a listening person. If Tinubu is a listening person, he would have listened before now. We don't have a listening president. You understand? If he has a listening president, there are many things that have come on air that Nigerians have agitated and he would have implemented. Recently, if I'm not mistaken, when the APC national youth leader returned back to Nigeria, there was a meeting that took place for youths in Abuja, in the villa. I don't know anybody was aware of it recently.
Okay,
Youth were brought across. Yes, recently, just last month or so. There was a meeting that took place for youths all over Nigeria. They gathered in in Abuja in the villa. They had a meeting for days. You understand? I have friends that actually are in APC, were able privileged to attend and other things. So it's this meeting also. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So the protest will not solve anything because he's not a listening person. The conference also will not solve anything. You understand? There are a lot of really. I'm waiting for the issue of this minister's reshufflement that he talks about. So we don't really know. He would have entirely reshuffled his cabinet because these ministers that he has brought in, actually there is nothing. I've not seen. The only one I see working is the minister of interior. Is he in interior also? This the one in charge of, that's the only minister that is working. Because
what
the
exactly
remaining
is he
the
doing
policies
that
are just
you are scoring him? Is
no
he declaring
no
public
the one of
holiday?
the thing I no this issue of minister for the one in charge of this international passport and a lot of things, because actually now Nigerians can easily access international passport very easy. You understand? The process is just seemingly very okay. Now when we talk about Minister of Education, what has he done than talking about age for WAEC and NECO? I don't understand. Certain policies that are not really working at all. You understand? He was talking about agricultural stuff, governors implementing agricultural this thing in states like
I was
Niger State
actually
and
going
Kebbi
to
State.
that, but thank God you have raised it.
That same state that is mentioning, I schooled in Mina. I graduated from Foods Mina. That same state, more than in Niger State. Niger State is the largest state in terms of land mass in Nigeria, followed by Maiduguri. In Niger State, you can walk 10 hours without arriving a destination, another local government. Imagine you're moving from Niger State to New Busa, where Kainji Dam is more than 10 hours journey. So that state has a very large land mass. And currently, as I speak, the insecurity in that state has worsened than even the former previous administration. You understand? When you talk about KB State, the same KB State that is talking about, where the same governor that is talking about, the same KB State has issue of banditry and this Boko Haram issue. I have a friend currently that is serving in a rural community in KB State. She told me that they are sitting side by side soldiers
thank you very
for
much.
protection.
Thank you very much. You raised
Yes,
that
sir.
issue on agriculture and you talked about Niger State, talked about KB and Mina. Now, when the president was giving that speech, he mentioned these states that he talked about. He mentioned a few northern states, and those states were the ones he called. He said all the southwest states, but he didn't mention southeast and south-south. So what is happening? Is that an indictment on the southern governors from southeast and south-south?
Well, it doesn't really mean that they are counting off these other states. I believe what he's looking at is states that from antecedents from the time past, they have been into agriculture and they have been productive in that aspect. And just like he said, in terms of land mass, that Niger State, from what I heard, is as big or might even be bigger than Israel as a whole. And Israel, we know, can produce, they have agricultural products that can feed not just them, but they export to other countries around the world. If they can do that, it means as small as big as Niger State, they can do something more than that, and even to other West Africa. So maybe he's using that as a case study where they can go into full-time mechanized farming, and then it will move into other neighboring states around that north based on land mass. But then it doesn't mean that the states in the south or in the east are not good in agriculture. No. When you come to, River State, for example, there is a place in River State called Eche.
No, your point now is it that they are not good or they are not doing something? The president is actually commending this state for doing something.
These ones, they are good. It's an oversight for you to say they are not doing good. But what the point I'm trying to make is that we can actually harness the land mass in these regions in the north because of those land mass. That's just like P2B said, that's another crude oil on its own. If you can harness that land mass, you can convert it to agriculture, not just for us, but the one you can export. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, praise God. You can pick it from there. Is this an indictment of the South governors? What is the
honestly
governors doing in the South? Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me? Yes.
Hello, praise God. Can you hear us?
Honestly speaking, the governors should be our governors in the South should be bothered about. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Hello?
Your network.
Can you hear me?
Yes, better now.
But I can hear you very well.
Go on.
Okay. I said honestly speaking, the governors from the East and South should be worried about the president's statement because before those days when we were growing up, the East states, we used to get good fruit from the East. When you talk about fruit, Odara and all the rest, apple and all these things, we used to get all these things from the East. But today, what's happening there? Nothing. You don't even see fruit from all those areas. Then when you talk about the South, we talk about palm oil, kernel. We are very rich in these things, but how many South states are producing palm oils today? What is happening to all our oil mills? The governors are not doing anything about it. Bayelsa, in example, Bayelsa has the best soil to plant rice in the whole of Nigeria because rice grows in a riverine area, where a place that is surrounded by water. And Bayelsa has a perfect soil. In fact, in the whole of Nigeria, Bayelsa has a water zone, a place that you can even call it as a riverine area. But yet, we don't even have rice to feed our own people, not to talk about to feed the nation. So the governors should be worried about things like this. What is happening to our cassavas and the rest? So I think the president, he might not be looking at that angle of reducing the South to nothing. But the truth is, what are the governors doing about these things? What have they done so far? What is happening to our fruit from the East? What is happening to our palm oil businesses from the South? So plantain, we talk about plantain. We have plantain.
Plantain in the South, but you can't even buy it in the South.
Now you cannot even buy from us because you can imagine a man came to Bayelsa, I think 2 weeks ago for a project, and he was asking us if he can get plantain. And I took him to Kolo, where he bought plantain of 20,000, and he was happy. He said that plantain, he can get it in North for at least the least 50 to 60,000. But yet we don't have them in surplus here because people are not longer going to farm and all the rest. And the governors that are not investing in these things, they don't even give grant and loans, and they don't even checkmate the field they give out to check if these people are producing things. So the problem in Nigeria is not just about the president. What are the governors also doing in their own areas? Are they just waiting for allocations? What are they really doing to impact the life of the people? So the agriculture issue, it should not be word-to-word things that they come on social media or broadcast to talk about. Let the people feel it. From the north, I feel for them because they are willing to go into agriculture, but the insecurity will not allow them. Look at the place like Benue. How many people will be bold enough to go to their farms when you are afraid of Fulani men and all the rest? So the South are not taking advantage of these things. Since the North are facing serious crisis, the South should have been able to produce a lot of things this period, but yet they are not doing anything. We seem depend on the area that Boko Haram are killing people to survive in the country. It's so sad.
Wow, such a great contribution from your end, and
I think we shouldn't
he spoke a lot.
just blame the governors. Yes, they are doing well, but the citizens, most people are no longer interested in farming.
I mean, something must be causing it.
Most people are not interested. Go back, not just farming.
But
Go on, you're free. Something must be
but sir, is now we're talking about me, and my concern is not even how many farmers have access to fertilizer. How many?
Now
How
you are
is
speaking
the
from the
distribution?
north. The north farm with
Yes.
fertilizer, but down here in the
Yes.
south, they don't really need fertilizer.
Yes.
We don't even.
To
Yes.
plant.
So, but sir, when we talk about
Talking
the south,
about-
are you talking about the south side, or are you talking about the southeast?
No, we are
South,
looking at
south, south.
agriculture generally. So if you talk about fertilizer, it's mostly in the northern part of the country.
Yes, the northern part. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, let me
But
chip in.
that's good. But that's good. Let's stop there. Erase something, not just talking about the governors and the governors. So now the president also took these governors to court, and we have the local government autonomy right now. Mr. Tepa, we will begin with you. This new approach the president took, this is restructuring on its own. Are there benefits from this?
Yes, I commend.
So, Mr. Tefa, you were on local government autonomy before we had some technical challenge. So we're back. Let's have your take on the local government autonomy by the Supreme Court.
Okay, yes, the issue of the local government autonomy is one of the important things Mr. President has done that I must commend him. And anyone who fails to commend the president is not being fair to him. Because over the years, past presidents have tried to ensure that the autonomy is being restored, but to no avail. Former President Muhammadu Buhari tried that, but it didn't work.
Okay, at this point, you have to be a bit brief so we can round up quickly, so everybody can.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
Tinubu actually did a very the right thing by doing this, so that funds will now be getting directly to local government to actually run the administration without interference from the state government. It means that local government council will be able to promote development at the grassroots level. There will be a lot of changes, there will be a lot of engagement, a lot of empowerment because of the concentration of leadership at the state level. If you go to local governments today, you see that they are deserted. You don't see people there, or few persons. Some don't even go to work because of the fact that activities are not robust in local government secretariats. But with the return of the local government autonomy, there will be grassroots development, and there will be leadership exhibition to the highest level of integrity, because local government chairmen don't have immunity. So if they are found wanting any act of corruption, they will be arrested, dealt with, and prosecuted, unlike the governors that they can only be arrested or prosecuted after their 4 or 8 years in office. So the local government autonomy will actually elevate local governments to a realm of development and better things ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tepa. So, Mr. Praise God, Frederick Oboa, what's your take on the Supreme Court judgment for local government autonomy?
I think that is one of that is one of the best things that this government has actually achieved, because you are very aware that the local government chairmen and their councillors, they don't actually have a say to what comes to them and what goes out. But the truth be told, we have seen very far from achieving the aim of that Supreme Court judgment. As long as governors will still single-handedly pick who to be chairmen and councillors, there is no headline. As long as people are not buying form to contest proper election, like the way House of Assembly senators are doing, governors, then we are still far from being to reality. That is just the truth about it. Because you cannot tell the governor what to do after he brought you into office. You did not buy a form, you did not contest, you did not do anything. You just became a local government chairman and you want to control fund. How? You must think ball back to them telling you what to do. And if you don't want, they just ask the other councillors that are loyal to them and they impeach you. And it goes. So the chairmen are still slaves. Let's forget about the grammar of Supreme Court and whatever. Till some certain things are put in place, the council is seen as normal. That's my take.
Wow. So until where did you end now? Because this is really, really interesting. The local government chairmen are still slaves, and no matter what you say, they just impeach them. So, Mr. Elijah, do you agree with Mr. President?
Yes, I agree. I agree with his statements.
Is this
Yes,
not
I
like
agree with his statement.
we are actually starting from somewhere.
Is not really a plus, because now, how many states in Nigeria do we have a APC governor and then have at least even 2 PDP chairman in that state in Nigeria? Is a question that we need to ask ourselves critically. In Plateau State, during Lalong, they did election in Lantan, one of the local government, Lantan North, Ubandoma, the current commissioner. The guy won that Lantan North, Lantan Sara, always been a PDP hub. That's where Honorable member Benina is from. It has always been a PDP hub. The chairman won the election, PDP, but he could not enter the office till Lalong finished his tenure. I don't know that again. So the governors still have power. There are a lot of things that needed to be done for this autonomy to be fully implemented, like so that the masses can really enjoy it. But if many other things are not done, many states, recently in Gombe State, where I come from, my election was conducted. The other parties did not even contest. They will not contest because they know that it's next week. Now we are having another one in Plateau State. You understand? I just know that the current governor is PDP. I know that all the people that will emerge as councillors and local government chairman will also be PDP. So where is the autonomy? And if governor will decide who carries tickets for each local government, then governor can decide, and then it's just like I'm doing you a favor, a compensation to give you a ticket, so that automatically you know you are going to win. So if once you win, you can collect the money. The money can drop to the local government account directly, but they may be giving the governor commission every month. So they are not really free. But we can have senators and reps today that are working in states. Are you getting me? And then you see a PDP, APC during an APC governor in a state where it's owned by a PDP governor. He can come into the state, do his things, and move. He doesn't care about the governor. You understand? But a local government chairman and a councillor cannot. So the autonomy is not really fully. We will not really enjoy the benefits of it. It's a good development, but we will not really enjoy the benefit of it, considering the governors still have power over the entire system.
Elijah is standing with Mr. President Frederick Obua that we will not really have a good thing of it, but you all actually comment that it's a good process.
It's a good move.
Yes, talked about
absolutely.
not having this in, what do we call it, immunity. They don't have immunity. Yeah. Praise God. I don't know if you mentioned immunity. They don't have immunity. So the people can actually hold them responsible. For sure, the governor protects them for the meantime. But once they leave office, the law will still hold them. Just like what we are having in is it Kogi? You can't arrest Yaya because the governor has immunity. Whenever EFCC go after him, the governor uses immunity to stop their action. The governor cannot be arrested because he has immunity. So This local government chairman will also be protected in that light. When EFCC come to arrest them, people ask questions. The governor will take his entourage and go and invade the stuff. So, Mr. Joseph Ladet, what do you have to say about this? On the long run, are we going to benefit from the autonomy, or we just say since the governors will always invade the local government, what can we do? What can we do to save the situation?
Okay, on the issue of what can we do, I concur with what the other guest speakers have said. You know, the governors have full control in as much as the autonomy, financial autonomy in this quest, to be particular, is already given to them. The governor will still have to override whatsoever decisions they have, and then by extension, they are no longer free. But in the long run, I think it is a right step towards the right direction, in the sense that we are not longer where we are or where we used to be before. And then I am very much aware of the current bill in the floor of the House, introduced that's an agency for the conduct of local government elections. I just don't get the full package of the bill, but I am very, very aware of the current bill. It is, I think it's not even more than maybe a month or thereabout, currently within the floor of the House, to ensure that a commission be set by the federal government to conduct local government elections at all levels. If that has been done pari passu with the current law in place, then governors not conducting elections at some point, I would not even say conducting elections, but then let me say appointing local government chairmen to oversee the activities of the local government activities within the local government level, then we would actually get it right. But before then, I don't think this is something that we will celebrate to a level to say that yes, we have gotten something to write home about. You know, that is my own take about that. And then there was actually something the president made mention of in his own speech. I don't know. It centers on agriculture as well. And sorry, the other time my network was actually having technical glitch. And that thing that captures my attention was the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now working in partnership with two countries to produce, not buying directly. They are going to manufacture tractors, just like the Niger State governor procured some tractors some months back. The president is actually working to ensure that we have good tractors for the dry season, and then of course the next year rainy season farming. I think for me, these are exactly what we need to be seeing in regards to implementation of policies rather than just doing the talk. How I wish this is coming before now, just so that this very farming season will be more productive than we are actually having now. Be that as it may, I am aware, and as acknowledged by Borno State Governor, that there were every state governor received not less than 20 trucks of fertilizer. Every state governor, as part, it is already on record and acknowledged by the state governors. More to it, just as our brothers are saying, the issue of rice always. If this type of palliatives are coming to farmers as at when due, and then with the coming up of the tractors in place, I think the next farming season is going to be fruitful and appreciated by our own farmers. And for us who are into the farming business, of course, we'll celebrate and we'll rejoice that a policy or program of government is impacting positively in their lives, other than any other thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. That's a good place to end it. You all know the challenges we have. I wish we can go on and on for the next 5 hours, but time will not allow us, and we'll continue to improve. As we mark Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, a lot is going through our mind. A lot of people have given up on the country. But we don't have any other country to call our own. So we all have to
Yes.
continue to strive and make sure those places we want to run to are built by those people. And they're doing everything to keep their country. So as long as we are alive, we should continue to do our best to see that our country succeed. Because if it gets better, it's for us. It's for our people. So I don't know how much we'll take, but just one minute. Let me start with Mr. President Federico. Tell us your good old days during independence period like this and your wish for Nigeria and Nigerians, advice for Nigerians. In 1 minute, please.
In- Independence Day for some time used to be one of the most interesting days for me. During when Pastor Chris Oyakhilome was doing his Reach Out Nigeria programs,
I believe in Nigeria.
So green and white. I will go out sharing Rhapsody, encouraging people that Nigeria will get better. But it's unfortunate that our leaders also and Nigerians, both Christians and the rest, have refused to understand that it's not just about the prayers and all those things. At this point, Nigeria need actions, no longer prayers and believing and believing. Even the Bible said prayer without actions is as useless as nothing. So at this stage of Nigeria, I think it's all this prayer and believing. So that's my opinion.
Thank you very much. At this stage in points, all we need is not just prayer, but Nigeria need action. Mr. Tefa, what do you have to say?
Well, while growing up, while we're in primary school, Independence Day celebration, even in secondary school, was something that we used to hold in high esteem. But growing up to face the reality of Nigeria, a lot of euphoria or enthusiasm associated with the celebration has faded away, but not completely. There is still hope, and we believe that things will get on track. I just pray that God help this country.
Just pray that God help this country, the good old days. So, Mr. Elisha, you seem to agree with Mr. Praise God when he talked about going out and all those stuff. So,
Yes,
what do you have to say?
Yeah, growing up seriously I saw a post just now on Facebook and someone was saying this has been one of the low key and the worst independence celebration ever in the history of Nigeria. You know, prior to before now, when you are approaching days like 2 days, 3 days, you start seeing people selling Nigerian flag on the road. You see people buying flag and putting it on their cars, just independence. And in my place in Go, they celebrate independence more than Christmas. If you go to Gombe State in Kaltingo local government, Shangom, Iliri, Balanga, celebrate independence. People travel from different parts of the country to come to the village to celebrate independence. They used to we have even independent rice. We have animals that are being kept for Independence Day. I was talking to my brother's wife this morning and I called her and I was asking her, how was the celebration? She said, the thing is, there's nothing to do. They don't celebrate again. And it's just something else. And, but one of the things I so much from Mr. President, one of his speech, he says something that we should not be speaking, we should not continue speaking evil about our country. You understand? And about our leaders. So I still have a very strong belief in this country, and Nigeria shall rise again. We've had good leaders, and one of the only challenge I have with Tinubu, most of his things are actually his policies. It's just most of the implementation of the policy that we are really lacking. And I am so optimistic that Nigeria, we don't have any other country to run to, and nobody can build Nigeria for us. Yeah. Nigeria will be built by Nigerians. So I believe in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elisha, joining us all the way from Plateau State. And nobody will build Nigeria for us. We must build Nigeria. So, Mr. Joseph Ladat, your parting word for Nigeria and Nigerians.
Okay. Just as everybody has acknowledged, the good old days used to be very, very, awesome, good memories. And I recall there is also this very particular program in Kwampan local government, to be precise, and it's called Kapang. It's been done in Namu. That's for those who know Namu. community. Today marks exactly, today is actually the day for that very celebration. And I recall when I was young, our parents used to take us down, to go and celebrate. We would come back, but though I heard that today, it's also very, it took place today again, and then the number, you get to see people in their thousands coming out, to celebrate Nigeria's independence. But then I don't know, maybe the patriotism of Nigerians is gradually reducing because of the current hardship or the realities they are facing, and people are just beginning to fade up. And it is unfortunate that we are having a president that is coming with a renewed hope agenda, though the hope is becoming more hopeless than more feasible for the common man on the streets. But we'll continue to pray, and just as my Mr. Elisha have acknowledged, we'll continue to pray for the country. But prayers without work, just as the Bible will acknowledge, is vanity. So just as we continue to pray for this country, let's also continue to be intentional about the quality of leaders we elect to represent us in different offices, just so that, because it is being said that the quality of leaders that you get is equivalent to the type of people that are within that very country. So our leaders are the product of the people, Okay. So it's very, very clear that Nigerians, if we desire to have a country that will call our own and will celebrate, we need to be intentional exactly about the quality of leaders we elect in various offices across boards, not just at the state or federal level, but even at local government level. Thank you so very much for your time and your audience.
Thank you very much, just about the way from Plateau State, joining us, Mr. Elisha, all the way from Plateau State too. Mr. Tefa from Benue State, thank you. Praise God, all the way from Bayelsa. And right in the studio here, Mr. Benjamin. And you've done justice to this, but your parting word too.
Well, just like others said, growing up, we are enjoying Independence Day. Back then, I used to be in the village. We go to our local government to do march past. I don't know if they still do all those things.
Yes.
In fact, the thing that the decline started after Jonathan's administration. I don't know if you all can remember 2010, 2011.
Yes.
I'm sure the Rhapsody guys can speak more on that.
Fresh air in 2010, 2011. During independence, everybody would come. In fact, in River State, then they used to share meat pie and food at Celebration Stadium. Then to everybody, to tell you how they celebrate this independence, it was held very in fact, people buy this white and green.
As in everybody patriotism
in churches.
Vice Embassy front of it.
But now, from Jonathan's time down to...
That's where we also got the platform from Lagos that even brought a bit to spotlight.
Yes.
This church, this Oktoberfest, this in the platform conference they do in Lagos. So thank you very much. We can go on and on celebrating Nigeria or getting angry, but this is the much we can take. All of you watching us online, Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, we thank you very much for spending your time with us. We hope to do this next year in a better platform, maybe in a platform where we can have live guests and the rest of them. But we'll continue to push to get better, and we hope the country gets better too. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. It's been a great one, but I'm going to call you very soon. We have a lot to talk about.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you for showing your support anytime I call on you guys. Thank you very much. So for all of us,
thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Mr. Benjamin, thank you. Thank you very much. So do have a nice time. So you can still be on while we go offline.